Hello and good morning to another episode of Smashi Sports podcast show. My name is Hesham, joined today by Kairo Rahman.
How's it going, Hisham? How's your week?
How are you?
Good, good. It's been a busy week here at Smashi, at Lovin. Season's about to start, pushing out content. It's been good, man. It's been a good week. How's your week so far?
Well, we have the season kicking off. We have futsal kicking off next week, volleyball, handball, and basketball in the 10th. So yeah, season's really kicking off.
Which you can watch on Smashi TV.
Download Smashi TV. Just a quick reminder to our audience, people who are listening to us and watching us, you can get the full episode on Smashi TV, and you can listen to us on your favorite podcast platform, Camby, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. And always the show cut of the news that we cover are on IG, Instagram.
Nice. What was the results for...
You're coming excited today.
I know. We got an exciting story.
First thing, tell me the results.
Because we can finally now announce the interview that we did with an NBA legend.
Okay.
And we have some exciting stories today. So I want to get to the stories and to that interview.
All right.
So let's hear the scores. What happened in football?
Well, round 4 kicked off, and unfortunately, Al Wasl lost against Al Ain 4-2 in a very dramatic game that started with 2-0 for Ain. Then Al Wasl drew back 2-2, but Al Ain is a very strong team right now, and he also got Sufyan got a red card in the 74th minute. You'll have another game that happened also for week 4, Al Batayah versus Sharjah 2-0, and that's not it. The last games will be played for round 4 will be tomorrow. It's going to be Al Jazeera versus Al Nasr at Mohammed bin Zayed Stadium. Very, very traffic game. Because you see, Al Jazeera is competing on the 10th level. They haven't been doing really well. They played like 3 games. They have 3 points. So that's the game they need to get back. And as I mentioned to you last time, Al Nasr needs this win because if they win this game Al Nasr, they go to the 2nd position in the league under Sharjah and competing with Shabab Al Ahly. So it's a very important game for Al Nasr also and Al Jazeera. That's what we have for round 4. Round 5 kicks off in the Saudi League, and you have Al Nasr will be playing against Mecca. Very, very important game as well. Just collecting the points in the beginning of the season. But what's really taking the attention now of the Saudi League and Saudi in general. It's the Ahly and Zamalek game that's going to be today.
Yeah.
But we'll discuss that later. Moving on to our first story, we have a very exciting news. You were speaking about CB football last episode, remember? And you were saying that there are a lot of talents happening right here and all that. So you've got an 18 years old Emirati football player lands contract in Europe club, Portuguese club. So Mohamed Ismail signed a contract with Leagu. Can you pronounce that for me, please?
I could try.
Can you pronounce that for me?
How do you pronounce it? You tell me. Luxos?
It's a professional Portuguese club, and he's the first local Emirati player to be transferred to Europe as he played on Al Wasl, and that proves your point.
The last couple of weeks we've been speaking about how like the UAE has so much talent, but there hasn't been anything to discover that talent. And there's people like Chris Brown that's trying to push the younger talent and kind of mold them in order for them to have a stage in internationally. And I think it's kind of crazy how like we've been speaking about for the past couple of weeks, and then we have like a historic moment in UAE football, how an 18-year-old Emirati player breaking into European football scene, which is again a rare accomplishment for players from the UAE. But I think it's kind of it kind of just cements the fact that like there is talent here, and there just wasn't any eyes to spot those. And now that UAE is growing in sports in so many different areas, but sports in general, the way the UAE is growing, we are now able to find these talents and give them a bigger platform for the world to see.
Well, he has a very good portfolio. He played 10 years in Al Wasl. Then he was transferred 2 years ago to play in France. where he played like under 17 and under 18 in AS Cans and CDJs. CDJ is like a second division teams in League 2, not League A, League 2.
Duh.
So yeah, he's a very like potential player. You can see like he wants to be there, you know. And as I mentioned that you being there for like a year or two, you see a lot of things. But when you come back to where you are, like you feel like that's where I want to improve.
Yeah.
So just giving that experience back and just him being, I think, excited to see him really in the international team very soon. You know.
Yeah, and I think there's like, you know, there's two things that I think there's one thing having a superstar footballer coming into your country and playing in your league, which brings more eyes to the league and to the surrounding players, right?
Yeah.
But that's just kind of bringing more attention to the sports, in my opinion, right? But having an Emirati player play outside of the country brings more of an excitement and a proud feeling for the country itself. Like our player, a boy from our country, is now playing internationally.
Professional contract,
Right.
First professional contract. I believe that he has an advantage. He's the first player to get such a professional contract. I'm really sure from the portfolio that I see from him that he's gonna have a very good season there. I think he's a player who has a lot of potential and growth that will take on a step further. You see the potential he has. Doing 2 years in France with two different clubs, you see that he wants to learn more. He wants to take the experience. Obviously, I'm sure he was participating in a youth national team, but really, like such players like that, we would really want to push them to the national team.
Yeah,
ASAP.
and he's
you
like
know?
the first one to open the doors, and it can only inspire like local talent even more. The young Emirati players, the players that are playing now. It will just inspire them a lot more. But do you think it will push more young players to kind of seek international opportunities now?
Like, I don't want to compare to Europe, but you see Lamine Yamal, he's pushing to the national team 16 years old, almost 17, right? So that's what we want to see. you know? That's excited for the youth. Like, imagine like you're 13, 14 years old now, seeing someone who's older than you by 2 or 3 years is just making it to the national team, you know? Or you're seeing someone who's older than you by 2 or 3 years, he's playing in Europe, playing in France, such as Mohammed, you know? You would have more ambition. You'd have more like, you know, you would wake up every day having a target just to be like them or just, you know, to take it on forward. Because back in the days, like, you would go there like after 20, like 20, 23, 24. Like you have obviously players rushed out to Europe in an early age, but I would really want the international teams to have a close look at those players and give them the opportunity. You don't have to be 20 years old to start playing for the national team, you know. That's the main concern that like I really want all the national team across all the, because as football fans, when you see like kids in that age doing crazy things in football, you enjoy the game, you know.
100%. I think, like I said, I think it's exciting that we started a podcast for sports, but at a time where like things are actually moving. You know, it's given us like from week one we were saying like, you know, there is talent here and they just need to be found.
Yeah.
You know, and then now like we're actually making headway. Talent is being found. You know, we have social media, we have TV, we have Smashi TV, we have all these platforms for us to find talent, and we just need more eyes to see the talent that we have, because we have a lot of talent. You know, we have a lot of talent. It's not just about international players, it's not about players from the UK or from America or anywhere else. Like the UAE has talent, you know, millions of people live here. We have a Ronaldo somewhere for sure, you know.
Yeah, it's even coming from like, you know, the government is coming from the rulers. You see how they're talented on building the country in this space. Like you actually see role models a lot, you know, like having Dubai in the last 20 years, no one would have expected that. If I came to you 20 years ago, you know, that's also a talent, you know, because at the end, you're not building a football club, you're building a country. You know, you're making it more modern, you're making it more that tourism, etc. So yeah, I agree with you that there's a lot of talent from everywhere. Let's jump in to our second story, where we have all the leagues kicking off. We have the Saudi Women's League kicking off this Friday with 3 matches. Very happy to see Saudi now just starting to target more vision on the Women's League.
Yeah.
Also in Egypt, Zamalek and Ahly and big teams started now having the first season first season they actually built a proper team. So you see like how you see like the Champions League for like Asia and Champions League for Africa and like that. You will see something like that in women next year. I promise. It's already happening, but no one really knows about it. No one really concentrate with it. But I promise you, next episode on Monday, I'll get you more details on that. You'll see more teams just like Al Nasr making their women's football team. You see Al Ahly, Al Hilal, here Al Wasl, Shabab Al Ahly, Al Nasr, Al Batayah, Ittihad Kalba. You would see them creating a women's football team because there is also talents for them as well. You know, the season will witness over 200 players representing more than 20 nationalities in Saudi. Like, you know, over 15 international transfer deals. So the transfer deals not only happening in the men's league, it's also happening in the women's league.
Yeah.
Having 15 transfer, that's a big number.
100%. And also, like, I think it's a step forward for development of women's sport in general, but also women's sport in the kingdom, changing societal perceptions about women's sport in the Saudi Arabia kingdom as well. Again, I think it's like there's so much talent in general, and it's not just focused on the male talent. It's not focused on just the youth talent either. Like, women is a whole different department as well, and I think it's a whole different league of talents. There's people that we can start to look from the start of their career, find out more stories about them. And again, I think having a Premier League show for women in Saudi, I think it's exciting. They already got eyes in Saudi with Ronaldo's coming there, Neymar coming there.
You know that what led to? It led to a significant growth with approximately 77,000 players participating in school leagues.
Wow.
77,000. You know, that shows the ambition to build a new sport legacy and expand investment in women's sport, you know. So when you see there is a proper league, if you love football, you would just say, oh, I want to be a football player.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what it's coming from. That's why you have 77,000 players.
And but also, like, if you think about like how the leaders of the Middle East country, you know, the kings, the royal family, like how they support anything of an achievement that happens within the kingdom and within the country, the fact that, you know, these women will have the support of the rulers of the kingdom.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get that anywhere else. You know, the fact that you're making your country proud, like it's not just gonna be, oh, women are playing football and there's like a very small audience for it. This is gonna be like, you know, these are our women playing for our country, and us as rulers, we're gonna push them and promote them and showcase them wherever we can. I think is the advantage of this Premier League.
I don't know you're going to agree or disagree with me, but I was just thinking about that 2 days ago. Because, you know, we always had the Premier League going well. We had the La Liga in Spain, you had the Ligue 1 in France, etc. But in the last 2 years, when Saudi started to invest so much in football, sports itself started to grow so much in the world. You know, like you see like the traffic on the Olympics, last Olympic, it wasn't like that before, you know. So I see like Saudi woke up the world on sports, that there is room for development in all sports. Like you would see everyone speaking about what's going on in this league, in this team, in this sport, jiu-jitsu, swimming, you know, volleyball, handball. Trust me, that wasn't there 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Like no one would care about the Olympics. Why exactly after this big boom happened in Saudi, sports are just becoming, you know?
Because you know what, I think it's because there's a huge fan base for the
social
Premier
media
League,
game
right?
as well. Honest.
But like
social media game.
There's like, but all of these, the leagues back in the UK and in Europe itself, like they already have a big fan base. Their favorite player have come over to this side. They have no choice but to watch the league over here. And once you watch the league and you start falling in love with the other players, you have no choice but to start being invested in it, you know? And I think, again, the same thing's going to happen with the women's side. I think, like, the fact that, you know, the kingdom's broader vision of, like, 2030's goals of women's empowerment and making sure, like, they are seen as well. I think, man, it's just, like, I can only imagine what is going to happen over the next 5 years for this league as well. You know, if you can bring over like a big player as well from Europe in the women's league,
Yeah.
bring them over here to Saudi just to help with bringing more eyes, international eyes, that would be amazing. But like I said, I think the rulers of the country will
But you know
push
what?
them.
You know what? How it started, and even if you would look even here in UAE, 10 years ago, like 2013, 2014, the GCC countries would think about we would get someone, a proper person, a board member to be like a president of the federation, or like not the president himself, but I don't know how you can actually see it. Like he's like a vice president, you know, to give his experience. And then they say we would get like a good manager, a known manager to see his experience with the player. So they would get like more of a management people, and that didn't work out because you know like Al Wasl had Maradona.
Yeah.
Many good names came coached, but they shifted it around that let's get the players, and they would like rather than take it from up to down, from the management boards to players, it didn't work out. They tried, so now they're making it from the players to up. You know?
But look, even aside from everything else, aside from everything professional, aside from everything that we expect it for to happen, the fact that we will have, for the first time, I think, in a long time, is a league represented by people that are connected to us, Muslim, Arab, women that, you know, people that could, you know, like how I would see my mum, you know, like these are our women, like, from our culture, from our religion, playing a sport, a whole league, and have the chance of going whatever direction they want to go in the future. I think, like, when have you heard of that? When have you heard a whole team of Muslim women, you know, playing football in a league, you know, with the potential chance of it being so big in the next few years? Like, it's the first time, you know.
Things has changed a lot.
A lot. And people are going to be seeing this, and I think that's exciting.
Yeah, a lot. Don't want to go to that part, but you know, things has changed a lot.
But it's good to have representation, I think.
Obviously,
you know?
obviously. I think that's awareness. You see the world is being a better place, you know.
And look, I mean, like, it's not.
It sounds so dramatic, but it is, to be honest.
It's not even just relatable just for Saudi nationals, you know. It's relatable for the whole religion itself. Like, these are Muslim women playing. If they win medals and if they win achievements or cups, like, for us, is a win.
And also, I love like the brands such as like Nike, Adidas. They start making special customized sportswear for them.
They have no choice but to see us.
Yeah, that's how I clearly say it. Moving on to our last story, and it's still Saudi based, and that's what I'm telling you. Saudi is just making not only on their leagues. Okay, so you have upcoming today. It's Al Ahly and Zamalek CAF Super Cup showdown in Riyadh. Match today at 10 p.m. Cairo time. Sorry, it's 9 p.m. Cairo time, 10 p.m. Dubai time, and 10 p.m. GMT time. I didn't know I said Cairo. I mean Cairo, the city.
It gets confusing.
Not Cairo, Rahman. You see, like, you know, like, right, like upcoming is just like the two toppest team in Africa. All right. Why would Season in Riyadh host such a big event?
Because the eyes are on Saudi right now, you know. So if the eyes are on Saudi right now, and there's talent and there's teams that are great, but no one's seeing them, let's bring them over where the eyes are and show them to the world.
Do you know that this game happens only every 30 years?
Really?
Yeah. Having both of them play against each other in a Super Cup, it happens every 30 years.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a big game today. It's happening, and you know, I really wanted to be there because it's happening in King's Arena, and you know, the arena is closed. You know, it's not like a stadium open. So with the fans, like Egyptian fans, they go like with the drums and tifos, and you know, the sound inside there, you will literally like feel like the stadium is like moving. You know. So yeah, it's a big game today.
I definitely want to see a game like that, like a huge cultural game with
come on.
the fan around with the fans.
Brazilian fans are always my favorite. It's, towards of supporting and the amount that gets inside the stadium. But also you have the German Borussia Dortmund team, crazy. But Egypt, you would have 100,000 in a stadium.
That's enough. That's all I need to feel the energy to be like I'm ready to
100,000 in a stadium,
support the team
and like literally,
with drums as well.
Yeah, when we used to go watch the games, especially with my dad, you're not going to watch a game for 2 hours. It's a day.
Yeah.
You know, you go there, you eat. Like usually we would arrive. My dad doesn't like it crowded areas, so he would go there early.
Nice.
So if me and my friends are going, we'll go 30 minutes before the game. If my dad will go 2 hours before, you know, he starts up searching for the smoking areas and stuff. But yeah, like it's like a whole full day. You go there with your family, you enjoy, because fans, especially in the Middle East, because I've watched game in Europe and I watch games in the Middle East. In Europe, 30 minutes before the game, 45. If you have a VIP ticket, you go there like early to see the players coming in.
Yeah.
You know, it's so organized. You go in easily, you leave out easily, smooth. 30 minutes, you're home. Okay. But Middle East is like a proper journey. You know.
Yeah. Okay, I can imagine.
You know, it's like a journey. It's not easy. You know, you're not gonna go in and just go out.
Pack lunch.
Yeah.
For the journey.
I was watching the Dubai Cup. It was Al Ittihad versus Zamalek in Al Maktoum Stadium, Al Nasr Stadium. And obviously you're not allowed to, to smoke inside the stadium. So you'd have to leave. You exiting the stadium and going in, it's just like 2 minutes thing, you know? Like between the game, you can just leave and come back. You know?
Yeah.
If I was home, if I would leave my seat, they won't let me inside the stadium again. So the journey of these games, you would see like the ultras of every team wearing specific shirts. They're getting like the tifos. Obviously, we'll show them to you on the cut that we're gonna make.
Yeah.
Like the tifos, like the banners and like fireworks. It's like a carnival. It's not just a game.
Yeah.
And especially those two teams, they're just head to head. Like you would see like a lot of hate, like a lot of like pressure on the players, you know. I had the ultras of the White Knights for Zamalek. They went to them before they traveled from Egypt to Saudi. They spoke with them. They gathered the players, the fans, like the proper foundation of that. It's like, if you don't win on Saturday, we're not going to support you the next day, by the way. We're not going to be there
intense?
for you. Yeah. It's like, yeah, we had your back because like the fans like had a lot of pressure in the last 2 years. The team wasn't really performing. They're like, if you didn't win on Friday, on Saturday, we're not going to, say, yeah. We're with you. Don't worry, work out. No, we're not going to do that. So the pressure is very high. I predict it's going to be a very good game.
What's your prediction of scores?
What a whole question. I didn't want you to ask that. Can we cut that?
No.
Can we cut that? Can we
need it, and on Monday we're going to see who was right.
To be honest, percentage of Al Ahly winning is like a 70-30. Al Ahly is going to win, especially after the great signings they did. I think it's going to be a 2-1.
2-1?
2-1. Oh, God. All right. I support Zamalek, but 3-1 to Al Ahly.
3-1 or 2-1?
3-1 to Al
3-1?
Ahly. 3-1. I hope we just give them 2-0 in the first 15 minutes and then we park the bus. And that's my max. 3-1 to Al Ahly, yeah.
Okay.
The Ahly is building a very strong team for the FIFA Clubs World Cup in 2025. It's happening in next summer. It's going to have all the big teams, Madrid, Atletico Madrid. From Africa, you have Al Ahly, Al Raja. From all around the world, you have the toppest team competing in a new tournament that's just been created by FIFA. And they really want to do something in this.
Yeah.
Also, Al Ahly has like 4 golden medals, 13 Champions League, more than 40 Premier League, Egyptian Premier League. We don't want to say how they won that, eh? Wink, wink. But but you know, it is what it is.
No, nice. I'm looking forward to seeing hearing the results and see how it matches up with yours on Monday. Moving on to the final part of the show, we had the chance to interview an NBA legend. Played 17 seasons in the NBA, named Defensive Player of the Year during 2006 and 2007 NBA season, retired at New York Knicks. We had a chance to speak with Marcus Camby, who will be headlining the NBA Fan Appreciation Day in Abu Dhabi alongside other NBA and WNBA legends on October 5th. So I'll check out, stay tuned, and see our interview with Marcus Camby, and we'll be right back.
After a very short break.
Welcome back to another episode of Smashi Sports Podcast. I'm Kyra Rahman. Today we have Marcus Camby, an NBA legend here. How are you doing, Marcus?
I'm doing great, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How has life been treating you so far?
I can't complain. Life is good. I'm just excited. The NBA season is upon us again, so I'm looking forward to seeing some good basketball.
How are you keeping yourself? How are you keeping yourself busy since retirement?
Well, I have 3 daughters, and they're definitely keeping me busy. Just trying to stay active. Just trying to get up, move. Work on my businesses and constantly keep working on myself.
Nice. I mean, the NBA season is approaching, but also, the season here in the UAE is approaching us as well. The season's about to start. Someone like you, a legend in the game, what would you say that separates a good player from a great player?
I just think I think what separates good players and great players is your preparation, your attention to detail, and how hard you work on your game when no one's watching. I mean, it's cool to get up and go to practice every day during the season, but during the off season is really pretty much how you put in the work, pretty much how you prepare your mind and your body for a long, grueling season.
As much as you're like preparing yourself and trying to stay focused, how much of a role did like coaches play in your development?
Well, throughout my career, I played for a lot of great coaches who was very instrumental in my career. And when I went to college, I played for John Calipari. He's a national championship coach. He's, coached at, various different universities. And a guy who I learned the most from probably in the NBA is probably Coach Jeff Van Gundy. He was somebody who taught me how to prepare for a game, how to study film, how to study defenses. And, I learned a lot from my time for playing for Coach Van Gundy.
Really nice. So what advice would you give to coaches here in the UAE for developing kind of like young talents, up and coming players out over here?
I would definitely, tell the coaches to be patient, spend an extra time with these players. I know a lot of these players see NBA, NBA players, stars on the TV and just think that is easy. It's definitely not easy. I just think these guys have the skill and to make it look easy, but stay on these kids at an early age, spend extra time with them, work on all aspects of the games. If they're big guys, 6'10", 6'11", and not just back to the basket, but also going to perimeter. Because you see how the NBA game has evolved now.
Yeah.
We have these 6'10", 7-footers out there at the three-point line, making it look so easy. I think of a guy like Wembyana. He's just like a freak of nature. And just when I see him play, I'm just in awe because of a guy that size and that skill.
Since you've retired, how involved are you still in the NBA culture?
I'm involved in a lot. I do a lot of NBA partnerships. I'm very happy and fortunate that the NBA selected me to go to Abu Dhabi. It's a place that I've never been to. I'm excited about going. The flight's a little long, but I'm sure it's going to be rough to flight when I get there.
You've never been to Abu Dhabi?
Doing stuff with the NBA, doing some stuff, with a lot of former teams that I played with. The NBA, organizations do a great job of bringing back former players into the fold.
And this is your first time here in Abu Dhabi?
Yeah, it'll be my first time in Dubai, Abu Dhabi. So I'm definitely, excited. I've been watching the games. I've seen the Olympic team over there this past summer. I've seen the NBA brought games there the last couple of years there. So I'm very lucky and fortunate and privileged to be a part of this year's.
One thing I want to ask you is, the UAE is very young as it is. 50 years, we've been here, and so many things are growing really fast. And one thing that I would love to get your advice on or your opinion on is the culture of basketball. How can we develop a stronger culture here? How can we develop a stronger base of fans? Culture, and also just kind of entertainment wise, how can the players entertain fans to bring in more fan base, and how can we build on that culture as in general over here in the UAE? What do you think?
Yes, I think the culture is actually coming along. I mean, the UAE has a lot to offer, not just basketball wise, but, off the court wise, investments and things like that. And I just think, as a whole, the NBA has been doing this part of bringing NBA culture to the area. FIBA has done a good job of integrating the basketball game as well. And I just think over time, it's going to continue to grow with these great partnerships that we have.
Amazing. I know you're very short on time. So I have one last question for you. My question is, how can players over here in the UAE kind of prepare themselves and kind of find themselves in a more of an international stage? What can they do to find themselves over there? While building the skill set over here in the home ground?
I just think, if you play hard and you got the talent, they will find you. I would tell these guys to keep working on their games, get with some good representatives that can help them, not just as players, but as men, get into these opportunities that the game of basketball has provided for a lot of us. It may not be playing in the NBA over here in the States. It may be playing over in Europe with all the great leagues that they have. It may be playing over in China where that league has been growing a lot as well. Yeah. So stay consistent, stay working hard, and get next to somebody who can put you in a position to make those moves.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. And I hope one day, I know this is your first time coming, so you might be busy, but after this, hopefully you can come watch the season, watch the league, watch the players, because we have some amazing talent over here. Young, growing, tall as well.
I'm looking forward to getting back. I'm looking back to more of a leisure time where I have more time to, venture out and experience the whole country.
Amazing. Well, look, thank you so much for your time. And I hopefully will see you over here in one of the games.
I appreciate you, buddy. See you soon.
See you too. Take care.